We compare Solana to Helium. Many of you hold Helium, and Solana is in one of our top 10. So this was an easy comparison for me because we are talking here about two very different things, and from a utility perspective they're both amazing, but from an investment perspective there is one clear winner, and you know already which one this is. But let's look at the numbers and compare the numbers here. Now, there is something to be said about the philosophy and the principle of having asset classes in crypto. First of all, most people talk about cryptocurrencies, which is misleading because none of them is a currency. But all of them are assets. And they are very different, so we have to talk about different asset classes. There are smart contract assets. There are layer 1 assets. There are layer 2 assets. There are equity-backed assets. There are utility tokens. Helium is a utility token. And now when we talk utility, there are governance tokens, there are many more. But let's talk about utility tokens. Should you ever invest in utility tokens? My decision is no, I don't invest in utility tokens. And I want to give you an example, because many people are irritated when I say this, but let me explain why. So think of miles and more, right? If you remember the times when we were flying a lot, you would have this card, it has tokens on it. And the tokens were really saying, okay, you have 22,000 miles and more points. You can buy one flight from Vienna to San Francisco for free because you have tokens. These 22,000 are a tokenized value of your earlier transactions. And that's really a token. It's not a blockchain token, obviously, but it's a tokenized value. They say, we create something that represents value for you. You can change this for something that costs $1,200, but you will get it for free because you have these tokens that are worth $1,200 for us. And they are worth a lot. I know the P&L and I know the business models of Lufthansa, etc. For them, these coins are really worth a lot. That's why they offer them to users. For the user, it's also worth something because, yeah, you can fly to San Francisco with it, right? So it's worth for you around $1,200 if you fly from Vienna. Now, would you ever buy shares of Miles and More if it was split from Lufthansa? Would you buy shares from Miles and More? I wouldn't, and probably you wouldn't also. Why? Because it's a utility token. It makes sense, and it was built to be swapped for utility. So, for example, if you fly a lot, then it makes sense to have this token for you. But if you go on a stock exchange and look for stocks, you will not look for Miles and More. That's something that I wanted to convey. So whenever you see a utility token, for example, basic attention token, or rally token. Whenever you see a utility token, think about it. Do you want to own this asset class at all? In my case, I just want to hold a couple of asset classes. The store of value asset class, which for me is Bitcoin, L1s, and smart contracts. This is what I primarily want to own. And then I want to have one gaming / metaverse / Web3 category of asset classes because, well, that might pop. So, and that's a smaller part. My biggest parts are layer 1 smart contract. This is what I want to have most. And of course, the store of value. This is the Bitcoin, which is 60% of my crypto portfolio. And then I want to have 40% rest. This is made up of 30% layer 1s and 10% speculative, which, for example, is gaming and metaverse. So think about it if you want to have utility as an asset class, and if you want, this is how you can get to your numbers. According to this comparison, Solana to Helium, we have utility for both 6.2 to 4, We have traffic in terms of fee, where we have much lower fees on the Solana side according to this. Delay, the Solana wins. Traffic, Helium wins. Supply, Helium wins. Staking, Helium wins with 13%. And not 7% of Solana. And inflation, here you have a problem. With 27%, you have a problem, right? I own Avalanche, which has 30%, and I'm not happy. Well, I'm happy about Avalanche. I'm not happy about the inflation rate, which will cause problems long term, also price problems. And so this inflation is a red flag. Then we have smart contracts only on the Solana side. Of course, Helium is not a smart contract. It's not a layer 1. What does Helium do? It creates a decentralized Wi-Fi network. So it has hardware to run Wi-Fi's, and it pays people to put up that Wi-Fi module in their home so that you can create a decentralized Wi-Fi model, which is a great idea, and it is needed, and it's a great model for utility, right? I want to use it, I want to have it, I wanted the world has it because it brings Wi-Fi everywhere, and so it's a good thing to have. Would I invest in a utility token? You know my answer. So retail, yes, both. Wallets, right now Helium has no wallet, but it will have. And then nodes, it's extremely decentralized by nature, right? Because if you're thinking of building a decentralized Wi-Fi network, then that's what you want to have, and it's working. The adoption is there. And so would I want to run a Helium thing here in my apartment? Why not? I'm not considering right now, but I think there are good reasons to do it, and it's a good thing for the world. Do I expect to make money with it? Not so much. I would use it if I use it for Wi-Fi, right? So for the utility aspect, I think 100%. As an investment asset, I won't look at it. This is why I don't even go right now with you to DeFi Llama and to check the TVL and to check the market cap, because you have my answer right here. Solana is the winner. Helium, I wouldn't pick for an asset allocation. I would pick it for utility if you want to look into these things. And I wouldn't pick it as an asset. It will not outperform the top 10 on our list. Hope that helps, and let me know what you need compared next. Keep rolling, everybody.